This is video number 3 for the Glass Art magazine cover series. In this video, I'm going to show you how to put the tagline on, the date, at least 3 articles, the UPC code, and the website address. To begin with, you should open your File Explorer, scroll down to your drive that has your name on it, open the folder that you created. I titled mine Magazine, and inside of there find the Adobe Illustrator document. Mine is titled Magazine with my name on it. Double click it and that will open in Illustrator. Here is mine. So you should already have your image placed and your text written nice and large across the top of the image with your chosen colors for the text and another color for a stroke around the outside. Okay, let's go get the UPC code from Google Classroom. Here's Google Classroom, and here is the Glass Art Magazine cover assignment. So click the UPC code PNG. Open these options on the side to show more actions. Open in a new window and click the download button. As a student, yours will go straight to the download folder, but as a teacher, I have to choose the download folder and then click save. Now I'll go back to my File Explorer, go to my Downloads folder, click the UPC symbol to select it, right click and copy. Then I need to navigate back to my drive and my magazine folder, open that up, and then right click and paste the UPC code in with my magazine file and my colored glass photo. Now I can go back to Illustrator. So in Illustrator, go to File, Place, right here, and in my magazine file, I'll click on UPC and Place. Now I have a little cursor with a thumbnail of the UPC code. So I'll click in the general area where I want that. And this is pretty large, so I'm going to hold down Shift on the keyboard to make sure that this is proportionate and it doesn't get distorted. And I'll make it maybe around this size and put it down here in this corner. I want to keep it away from this black line a little bit. I want to make sure that it is going to get printed. Anything over that black line will get cut off. All right, let's go ahead and add our website on there. So I will get the text tool, and if I just click one time down here in this area, Illustrator puts some placeholder text there for me. So I'm going to put www.glassartmagazine.com. Okay, now I'm going to edit that a little bit. So the size is a little large. I'm going to click and drag to select this, and then over here in my properties panel, I'm going to look for the type of font and the size. If your property panel isn't showing, simply go to Window and on this alphabetical list, choose Properties, and the panel will pop open on the side. So I did choose this to be my font, Gill Sans MT Condensed. I chose that earlier, and I like it because it's simple and easy to read and it looks nice. So I'm going to stick with that. For the size, I think for the website, I'm going to go with something small like 18. That looks great. Now I'm going to take the selection tool and I'm going to move this down a little bit, click off of it, and I think that looks good, except it might look a little bit better if it is white. So I'm going to get the text tool, again, highlight this, and over here in my foreground, background color area, or I'm sorry, my fill and my stroke, I'm going to click this little Restore Defaults button, and that changed the top color back to white, but it added a black fill to it. So I'm going to click to bring the fill forward and then set it to none. So if I take the selection tool and click off of this, yeah, I think that looks really nice in white rather than black. Now I'm going to work on my articles. So again, with the text tool, I'm going to estimate that approximately right here, I'm going to click and drag a box about a third of the way over. And inside of here, I'm going to write my first article name. Now, you can have whatever article you want. You can copy what I am writing, or you can create your own, as long as it makes sense with a glass magazine. So something that you would find in a magazine about glass. Okay, so there's my text, Linda McNeil on what makes jewelry into sculpture. But I don't like the size and I don't like the color. So again, I'm going to click and drag to highlight that. I'm going to change it to white. So let's see. I will do the same thing where I restore the defaults to change it to white, then bring the stroke forward and put it on none. And it's too small. I don't want it to be the same size as the web address because this is more important and I want it to be more prominent. So I'll go over here to my properties and I'll change this to, I think size 24 looks good. Now I have a little bit of weirdness going on here. I don't like this hyphen and I don't like the way that the text is spaced out. So what I'm going to do is get the selection tool, click on this, and I'm going to move it around. I think that looks much better. So Linda McNeil on what makes jewelry into sculpture looks much nicer. So I'm going to click this and drag it to this area. It's more readable when it's inside that purple area there. All right, looks pretty good. Now I'm going to use a little bit of a time saver. I'm going to click this to select it, hold down Alt on the keyboard and drag off a copy. So that's going to be my second article. Now I'm going to hold down Alt again and drag off another copy. All right, so text tool. In this one, I'm going to write RISD, which is a famous college, art college. This is my second article. And notice the capitalization is very important on a magazine cover, so make sure that you are capitalizing correctly and that you have correct spelling. Okay, so again, I'm going to get the selection tool and I don't like that hyphen, so I'm going to, yeah, that looks good. So RISD Glass, an academic powerhouse for half a century. And then for the last one, again, I'll get the text tool and I'll swipe this to highlight it. And I'm going to say whose art is on the cover. So cover, enter, and then obviously put your name, not my name. So we're pretending that we are the featured artists that have our artwork in the magazine this month. All right, so now just for some finishing touches, I'm going to space these out a little more so that they look nice. And I want to make sure that they're all on the same level. So maybe if this one was accidentally down just a little bit, it looks weird that they are not all lined up. So to line them all up, I'm going to click the first one with the selection tool, hold down Shift, click the second one and the third one. Then over here in the Properties panel, under the Align feature, I can choose to align the tops, the middles, or the bottoms. And this time I'm going to choose to align the tops. Now watch what happens when I click that button. They all get lined up to the same top line. All right, the next thing that I need to do is go up here to the top and add the tagline. So with the text tool, I'm going to click one time right here and write for the creative professional. Very nice. And then I'm going to get the selection tool, move that down a little bit to where I think it looks good. That looks great. Okay, with the selection tool, I'm going to hold down Alt and click and drag to make a copy. Get the text tool, highlight this, and write the date. And get the selection tool, scoot that over, and just to make sure that those two are lined up, this one is selected, so I'll hold down Shift on the keyboard and select this one. Go back to my alignment options and choose vertical align top. There we go. And I'll nudge those down. Great. So the last thing that I'm going to do is create outlines for my fancy font up here at the top. So sometimes when you send something to be printed, if the printing company doesn't have the font on their computer, something happens called font substitution. One way that you can avoid that is to turn your text from a text object into an object. So I'm going to select my title and go to Type, Create Outlines. Now I am going to stretch this a little bit so that it's a little larger and more prominent, just because it's the title and I think it would look better. So something kind of like that. Now I will click off to the side, and that looks pretty darn good. I am happy with that. Save your changes and also add this to Google Classroom. Use the snipping tool or a screen capture and click the turn-in button. That's it for this video.